The Lives of the Saints by Father Alban Butler, March 4th. Blessed Placide Viel. Victoria Eulalia Jacqueline Viel, who would one day become Superior General of the Sisters of the Christian Schools, was born in the small Norman village of Valvacher. She was the 8th child of a farmer, and her education was reduced to 7 years of elementary school in the city of Quethu. She was serious and shy by temperament. Until the age of 17, she lived the quiet and orderly existence of a farmer's daughter in charge of her brother's household. At that age, she went to visit an aunt of hers, who was a nun in the convent of St. Mary Magdalene Postel in Saint-Sauveur-le-Vicomte. The visit so impressed the young girl that she decided to join the community. She was admitted and took the name Placide. Mother Postel, who was already in her 80s, saw in the young religious an ideal successor for the government of the congregation. Thus, when Placide finished her 2 years of novitiate, she attended intensive courses at the normal school in Argentan and was then appointed teacher in a boarding school. At the same time, the Holy Foundress was initiating her in the duties and responsibilities of administration and even sent her to open some new houses. After 5 years of religious life, Placide was appointed mistress of novices, but she soon had to leave her post to go to Paris to raise funds for the restoration of the church in the Abbey of Saint-Sauveur and to arrange other important matters. St. Mary Magdalene Postel died on July 16, 1846. The general chapter of the Sisters of the Christian Schools chose Placide to succeed her. Sister Maria, her aunt, expected to be elected, and, although the new superior gave her much authority and responsibilities, Sister Maria, who had already earlier been hostile to her niece, greatly hindered Mother Placide's government for the next 10 years. To avoid that difficulty, the Blessed resided as little time as possible in the Motherhouse and, while her aunt lived, governed the congregation from the abrupt and tortuous roads and paths of central and western France. Indeed, during this time, the Blessed traveled extensively in France to collect funds and visit the convents of the rapidly growing congregation. She worked particularly hard to obtain official approval for the congregation. Negotiations were laborious, and on one occasion, the Blessed had to make a secret trip to Vienna to see the Count of Chambord. Mother Placide was Superior General for 30 years, and the congregation prospered greatly under her rule. Orphanages, creches, workshops, and free primary schools multiplied. One of the most famous foundations was the Orphanage of the Sacred Heart of Mary in Paris, where, in 1877, there were already 500 children. The Blessed was also able to successfully complete the reconstruction of the large church of the Motherhouse, which had been undertaken by the foundress. Cardinal Guibert, Archbishop of Bordeaux, speaking of the situation in France in 1870, applied to Mother Placide what had been said of Blessed Anne Javoué. I know of only one person capable of restoring order in France, Mother Placide, of the Convent of Saint-Sauveur-le-Vicomte. The impression left by the life and accomplishments of the Blessed is that she was a religious of great personal charm and good humor, serenely determined to do for girls what Saint John Baptist de la Salle had done for boys. During her government, 36 schools for poor girls were opened in Normandy, and Les Ordonnances de Louis XIV was suppressed as a book for reading. The Blessed's life was very simple in every way. She had no special spiritual trials or mystical graces. However, there was no lack of some miraculous events, which she attributed to the intercession of Mother Postel, for whose beatification she worked hard. Her death occurred on March 4, 1877, when she was 62 years old. Placide Viel was beatified in 1951. Under her government, the number of convents of the congregation increased from 37 to 105, and the number of religious from 150 to more than 1,000.